All right, welcome to round number 4. We are definitely going to be keeping this hand. Hopefully not an Inquisition or Thoughtseize on the other side of the table. That would leave us a little bit ruined. Oh no. Okay. Maybe just Hollow One or Living End or something. I guess Living End would probably not be ideal. Maybe we can skip that. But Blackleaf Cliffs pass pretty often. Living End. Especially, yeah. Cycle Street Wraith on your turn after not doing anything with my mana is even more indicative of Living End. Most decks that had Street Wraith and Blackleaf Cliffs that weren't Living End would be pretty interested in cycling on their turn to see if they found something to do with their mana. This matchup can't be great. Game 1 in particular. Yikes! We're having a little bit of a rough run here with the Bogles. Hopefully our opponent just like doesn't have it. We've got all these cornets, nothing to do with them. They have to have Green Source Outburst. Obviously, Demonic Dread doesn't do it. Now they could have like Simian Spirit Guide Outburst. I guess I just get a Dryad Arbor just to increase my clock at all. If I get hit with Living End, I'm not winning the game anyway. I don't know, maybe Spirit Mantle plus Coronet could have actually won me the game post Living End. I don't think so on Dryad Arbor. I guess the biggest problem is I'd have to be able to cast them both in the same turn and still have Dryad Arbor. Plus they also have Archfiend. Like, yeah, I think it's just not worth saving the fetch land. Ooh, you know what? This is a mistake, actually. I'm such a dummy. I have not played some of these smaller decisions well. Maybe it's just not knowing the matchups well enough from the side of the table, but I'm giving them Demonic Dread. They just didn't have it, but they easily could have. Again, not playing around anything here. Maybe my opponent's got it and I'm just very dead, but in fact, I guess I'm supposed to play around like Beast Within. But yeah, this is incredibly foolish. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Guess this didn't matter, but easily could have. Like, it was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Yep. So we're pretty much just dead. And this is that spot where if I just had like fetch land, I don't think it would really matter. Like, yeah, I live, then I fetch in my opponent's end step, then they could cycle anything, kill my guy. So yeah, I think it's not really a huge thing there. Okay, so paths are interesting in this matchup as usual because there are sometimes where they're going to be forced to go for a really small Living End, which makes path useful, but only in that one instance. Otherwise, it's just not going to be very good. Ley lines just don't really matter. Obviously, Rest in Peace are great. Canoness is great. Seals don't matter. So at that point, it's kind of just like, how do we feel about paths? Scatic Teague doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of just how many paths do we want to have? I guess I don't really have with taking those ley lines out and just putting in rips. I don't really have anything else that I would want in those slots. Spirit Link could be okay. Spirit Link. I mean, the Griff Spoon's not great. Cartouches also don't really matter, but they're still fine. Yeah, I guess Boon for Path or Link. I don't think Link is ever really going to matter. And I think Griff Spoon is weak enough that having Path is fine. I mean, outside of like the Ethereal Armor draws, if I have like multiple Ethereal Armors, obviously Griff Spoon's doing a lot more work than I'm giving it credit for, but maybe Spirit Dancers could get cut here. No, I'd rather have them than these. Spirit Dancer definitely seems not very good in the matchup, but speaking of, yeah, I think this is just a pretty easy mulligan. Like, Sand has a Canonist, which is helpful until my opponent finds a way to deal. But I obviously don't have the second land I need. 20 land deck, one of them is Dryad Arbor. Oh man, this hand doesn't even beat down super fast. Plus I have Rest in Peace in my deck. I think that hand's super close. This is better. I still need to find a second land, of course. And it's particularly awkward because my current land is a fetch land, so if I scry land at the top, like, kind of don't want to play Gladecover Scout. I probably have to regardless. Looks like we're not forced to make that decision. But it's just going to be cross our fingers and hope to draw land. Point of the game pretty quickly here. Opponent can go off as early as turn 2 for a smaller living end, which they wouldn't hate in this matchup, I think, especially with us mulliganing like we did. Sacrifice all creatures, obviously, from living end, so this doesn't save us there. But, yeah, I mean, I'd rather do that than play the other Gladecover Scout, so. Opponent isn't really going to have anything that makes the Umbras. I wonder if Griff Spoon was better than Spider Umbra, actually. Still not Spirit Link, but Griff Spoon probably was better than Spider Umbra. I think there's just like no instance where the Umbra is going to matter. Might be something weirder, like they could have. No, that just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think Griff Spoon's better than the Spider Umbra. It's not better than Hyena Umbra. Maybe it is even, since I just can't imagine the Totem Armor being relevant. Ugh, just drawn Bogles. It's unfortunate. Kind of the worst draw here. Land is great. I mean, I guess 2-mana enchantments are kind of awkward. I'd still rather have them than extra Bogles, though, I think. Even though this gives me something to do with my mana. So, probably lost. This upcoming turn is the big one, and we didn't get the chance to slam this Rest in Peace, so. Yeah, that doesn't help. Yeah, I mean, so they go Violent Outburst here, and I can play Gladecover Scout, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to keep. I guess this is the same as our 6, where you keep like a 1-land, 2-mana bullet. At least this one had Bogles, but yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I don't know. It feels like I made a mistake last game, but it wasn't relevant. I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes in the games I lost, but none of them seemed to be relevant. It was all like, oh, I gave my opponent this extra opportunity. anyway. There's nothing I can do here. I can play this obviously main phase 2, but any cycler kills my Bogle there, so it's just not. I mean, I might as well if we're gonna play this game out, but I guess that's gonna be it for us. So, all right, one final round in just a moment.